In this volume of the Living Word, I'm going to just jump in with the word day. Before I break down its meaning in letter form, I want to use this as a good example to show you the other way that the spin and the movement of words applies. But until people learn what letters mean and what numbers mean, I can't go into these deeper things. And until they learn those things, I can't explain material, mineral, and spiritual memory, because those do have true meanings to them. And the deeper and deeper you go, the more you understand. And it's not taking you down any rabbit holes. It's showing you the truth of how this universe works. There's a big, big difference. Not the stories you've been lied about, not the people who've done you wrong, but how this universe works and why those people are doing these things. Because it's a universal mind playing out for all of us to see and witness from our own point of view. And I've seen it from them all, and that's how I can explain this. So the word day is a 4D, A1, and Y 25. That's where you add up to 30 and you get all things that are happening in 3D. That's why the word 30 is like their T, but it's got an I in the middle. THIRTY. Plus here identified, recognized or referenced, plus vitally identified. If you would take the A and the Y being Z from one side to another when you add them together. Now remember, when the word's broken apart, it means different. But when you simplify everything and do it not just in gematria, but in the living word, day being D in front of an AY, it's from one side to another. A day is something that you go through, like they go in progression in time. The one day, then the next day, then the next day. And if you talk about yesterday, it's a vitally identified expressed subject plus expressed reference that you went through from one side to the other yesterday. See? So the word day being dia, active, vitally identified. So that's why simple words like that, unless you understand what I mean when I say dia, the doorway in which things come through, or the director, the active, vitally identified. So everything that's actively, vitally identified that comes through and is over is called a day. And that's when you get into 24 hours of a day being an X. When you get to the end of a calendar day, what do? Not everybody does this, but if you have a calendar and you want to make sure that you remember that you're on a certain day, you draw an X through the day. It's not just a coincidence. Now the word night, an N, if you use the shape of a lowercase n, it almost looks like you're cupping something under your hand. Hence the reason why the word down has an N at the end, because it's the plural notion of a coming through ongoing plural shape of an N. Now, when you say night, if you could use a capital N, but it's a line with a down slash to another line. And if you would stop right in the middle of that slash downward, that slant, that would be where you are. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing, but then again, it's the idea of that now, or the downward thing, what's going down right now. So it's also the 14th letter being actively dia, or actively directed, or actively doing. So the word night is under this shape of an N, or this what's going down right now. We don't have anything yet. So we're identifying that. So we think of darkness. We have something under this thing that's identified, but we don't know what it is. It's darkness, generated here plus. Do you see that? That's why the word night is dark, because it's a now or notion identified. It's something that is in the dark. You don't know what it is. So it's a notion identified, generated here plus, night. That's why you have the dark night of the soul. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like the color, like super midnight black. It just means that it's something that you're in the dark about. It's a notion identified, generated here plus. Now the word noon is the thing that's going down, ongoing upon itself at this notion. So it's in the OO being together, the vowels holding the vow of movement, or the feminine essence of things that nurture the ideas of words. That's why they're vowels. So the O's in the center of two ends. So it's a notion ongoing upon itself as a notion. And that's why it's halfway through a 24-hour day, or the shape of an L, where we have lunchtime, where lunchtime can start at noon. You can eat lunch whenever you want, but the idea of the middle of the day is the middle of the day meal, lunch, starting with an L. So it's the notion ongoing upon itself as a notion. It's the 12. It's the active base. It's not 12 midnight because that's in the middle of the dark. The 12 in the middle of the day is called noon because it's where you have the L, lunch, or it's halfway through 24. So then you have noon, the now, ongoing, now. See? So the next word, other. Ongoing plus here expressed reference. It's not what is identified subject or what it identified thing. It's other. Ongoing plus here expressed reference. Other. Other than you, other than that, other than it. It's an ongoing plus here expressed reference. Other. The next word, I'll go into three words that most people can't easily explain because they don't really have a visual representation of them. Now, could, should, and would. If you could do something, now it can be constant to you, but could is something that's an unseen concept, ongoing as a unit of a ling or 3D as it lie, to or from. Could. So I could do that. It's at this point it's unseen, the unseen concept, see, ongoing as a unit or a unanimous thing, as it lie, directing to or from, or dia. I could do such and such a thing. Now when you get to the word should, it's the subject here, ongoing, underlying, the linguistic or as it lies, to or from. I should do that. Subject is here, ongoing as a unit, 3D as it lie, dia. The word would. Now it's other than, and it's specifically talking about the plural idea. Would you do that? I would do that. Now I know you can say I should and I could, but W being that thing as in, if you say I would, you're definitely giving it a yes. Should, you're not definitely giving it a yes. Could, you're not definitely giving it a yes. If somebody says, can you do this? You say, yeah, I could. Then it's like you're giving it a definite about an unseen concept that you, ongoing unit, as it lie in the 3D world, to or from director, that you think you could do. If it's a subject here, it's a subject here ongoing in the 3D world, or as it lie, directing or through dia, that you should do. When it gets to would, it's a plural thing that you think, or somebody asks, would you do this specific thing in a manner of a vitally vital, ongoing, underlying, as it lie, dia, directing, or to or from being done. Would you do this? The next word, legend. So as it lie, or active base, or ling in the 3D world, expressed, generated, or grouped. Expressed notion that has gone to or from. A legend. That's why you can have a legend on a map, and you can have a legend of old. It's a 3D expressed, generated, or grouped expressed notion to or from. A legend. Now the word legion. It's a, as it lie, expressed, generated, or grouped, identified, ongoing notion. It's somebody that you, or some group that you are with, and it's a legion because it's a 3D expressed, generated, identified, ongoing notion. It's a legion. Now, no offense here, but the word religion. R is either the human number or the reference or the actively here, the AH, 18. The reference expressed as it lie, or linguistically, or the 3D, because 3D, like I said, isn't just a place. It's all the senses, but in their concept mode. As it lie, that's physical. as it linguistically, that's its speech. As it ling, that's as its light essence manifests. And in the 3D world, that means all of the senses combined, not just seeing 3D animation. So, religion, reference, expressed, as it lie, identified, grouped or generated, identified, ongoing notion. So it's what you reference, express, as it lie in the 3D world, identified, as it's generated or grouped, identified, ongoing notion or nature. So the religion is what you do over and over. It's your present day legend. It's not a legend, it's not a legion. It's what you are doing over and over again, as it lie, or as the 3D world lays, expressed, actively based, identified, grouped or generated, identified, ongoing notion. It's what you identify with and what you think the identify should be, your religion. See? These are what words mean. It's no offense to anybody who takes them very seriously, but when you die, you'll realize that your religion meant nothing. You may hold on to it, but that's just going to create your karma for your next lifetime. And if you wake up sometime before you die, you will shed a lot of that. You will have a lot of memories that you take with you. But you can easily get through this when you become clear and you understand what really is, not just what you really thought. So, until next time, I love you and God bless.